And we welcome you into another edition of the Ollie Reed Sports Podcast, giving you the news and notes around the world of high school and college basketball across Mountain State and beyond. And man, we are back. It's been about almost a month, but we are back on the podcast. Glad to have my co-host Jagger Matheny back from vacation last week. How was it?
Oh, it was awesome. First time in Florida. The heat's insane. It's nothing like here, but me and my mom, we had a good time, and it was my first time flying and only her second, so we both did good. And I'd go back next year whenever. It's a good place.
Yeah, that's great. Where'd you go to again in Florida?
We went to Clearwater Beach, Florida.
I know some people that went there. They say it's really nice. I
It
definitely want to
is.
go back. I'm definitely going to go over there sometime
It's
soon.
it's beautiful. The sunsets, the scenery. It's an awesome place. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. Well, but we're glad to have you back here on the podcast. I know it's been a while since last time we've been back. Last time I talked about heading over the Rock Hill. The last time we were here, got to see the Adidas Championships. It went pretty well. Getting to be a part of that experience. It was my first ever live period event. My first ever shoe circuit event as well. Going to check out some of the top players in the country, and I was glad to see a few in-state kids to, compete in that as well. Like Noah Lewis, which we'll talk about him in a minute. And Daz Reed, who played at South Charleston High School and is playing at Huntington Prep, heading into his junior season. But it was a good experience. Got to meet some other media guys like Jeff Goodman from Field 68. Got to meet Mr. Jamie Shaw from On 3. And got to meet a lot of college coaches. For those of you who don't know, a lot of college coaches came to this event. Really glad that I got to meet some coaches, and just to name a few: Mark Pope from Kentucky, Kelvin Sampson from Houston, Dusty May, Michigan. Really had a good connection with Pat Kelsey and Thomas Carr, my guys from Louisville. Shout out to them. Got to meet WVU's assistant Phil Forte, former Oklahoma State baller. For all you Mountaineer fans already know about him joining us as an assistant coach for WVU, which will be great. We'll talk about WVU basketball here in a moment as well. But yeah, it was a great experience. And hopefully we'll be back in Rock Hill again next year. So it was a fun time. So that was kind of like a July recap of what happened.
We both had a busy month, busy July.
Absolutely. And also just wrapped up the TBT for Best Virginia, had a solid run, making it all the way to the Final Four. Sadly, it ended at the Elam ending with Evelyn Drive, as they are going to play in the championship game tomorrow against the Aftershocks, Wichita State's alumni team. But man, just want to say shout out to Coach West for helping this team back to its former glory. Whenever they first started off, I mean, they were a really good ball club. It was mainly like all Mountaineer guys, and now I did kind of see like it is some Mountaineer guys as well. Like Trey Mitchell was also on that team this year, and Kedrian. It was nice to see Keedy Johnson back on the floor as well. But we also had like some in-state guys that played at Division II level. Like we were just talking earlier about this before we started. Isaiah Sanders, former Mountain East Conference All-Star, played at Fairmont State. Will Voorhees, who was a Division II All-Star as well. Was there another person that I'm missing?
I don't think so. James Reese was from North Texas.
And then James Reese, Ross Hodge brought in James Reese, which was a really awesome addition.
He was our best player, in my opinion.
He was the best player. Yeah, he was kind of like the best player of the whole entire tournament for Best Virginia. So
in the game against Maryland's alumni Shell Shock, the commentator said during the game that he was the only player that scored 20 points in every TBT game. So I think he was obviously the best for us, but I mean, he may have been the best in the whole entire tournament. He was great for us.
He was absolutely, and we're very appreciative of having the Mountaineer program actually watching the team play last Monday in the quarterfinals against Maryland's alumni team, the Shell Shock Terrapins. Ross Hodge and the rest of the Mountaineer basketball team was there. Honor Huff, Trace and Eagle staff, Harlan Obioha, etc. And it was nice to get to talk to. I also got to meet Coach Hodge as well. Steve's like really nice guy, very genuine, nice person, um, and just I feel like he has kind of embraced the WVU culture early.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Ross really understands what WVU means to the whole entire state, basketball, the university itself, and sports. Because everyone mentions that there's no pro teams here, and we are the pro team, and it's just there's so much pride into it. And I think that Coach Hodge has really embraced it, and he understands and gets it.
understand? Yeah, I can definitely see that. You know, but later into that, I do know that the TBT team, like I said, didn't make it all the way to the um championship, but it was great to see him on that run. It's the first time that West Virginia's ever made it to the Final Four in the TBT. So, just definitely want to give a shout out to Coach Jared West Senior, Coach Everhart, Coach Donald Coomer. Um, guys did an amazing job. Shout out to John Flowers, the GM, for always doing an incredible job with the West Virginia group every year, just trying to get the team together. And Toby Okani is like another guy that
Other
helped out as
Mountaineer,
well. Well,
yeah.
another former Mountaineer that was just played for only one season,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and whenever he was with Coach DeVries and his staff, so it really felt nice. It really is nice to have someone that played for a different coach for WVU, and just stay with the program like that it's really nice to see. So shout out to the guys that played there, and obviously Jerry West Jr., another player I wanted to mention. Really nice. I've already known him since like the very beginning. Um, he's a really good ball player, really great human being in general. I mean, he was. I mean, I
He got
remember
to
in that
play with his
semifinal
dad.
game. Hmm?
I was just saying, no, it's great that he got to play with his dad and be there for the
Yeah, because I was there during the post game press conference. Wes Senior was kind of emotional about that. Was he said that he never thought he would get the chance to coach his son again. So, and
yeah,
then obviously having it there at the Coliseum since the last time the two guys were together in
yeah,
Charleston. They won the 2017 state championship in Class A with Notre Dame. So it's definitely awesome to see that for both father and son together again.
of course, yeah, and to be able to embrace that one more time in the same place that you left off at and won a state title at, and to do it one more time, and they did great there together. Senior did good coaching, and Jared West Jr. was a great player for us throughout the whole tournament.
He was really great defender too. I mean, you can see him. He
Yes.
was trying to lock up Gabe York,
Yeah.
but man, he was even talking to me about like the bank's always going to be open. The bank's always there. Whenever he was saying, I was like, yeah, absolutely,
Always there.
because
Yep. It's always open.
absolutely. So, but other than that, I'm really happy with how TBT like stood strong no matter what. They didn't quit. They didn't like let the lead. They didn't. I mean, they kept on fighting. Like
They never
you
let it
know,
get out of hand or bad. It
they
was
didn't
always
get out of hand because
yeah,
we've had teams to have done that before,
yeah.
but
These
but
guys
this
were
team it was
fighters.
different.
They were fighters. They never gave up.
They did. They did not give up, which was one of the reasons why it was just a great game all around. That's the reason why I say is because it was both teams just didn't quit. Obviously, like Evelyn Drive, like they had a lot of guys that were like bigger physically. But I feel like West Virginia did match up with them pretty well in the physicality level of it, even though West Virginia was a little bit smaller.
Hmm.
Um, but they showed no quit, and that's the reason why I really respected West Virginia just hanging on. They just didn't like let it go out of control like that, like we mentioned before, and it's just great to see. Um, but yeah, shout out to West Virginia and them. Really hope to see them run it back again next year.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
definitely want to see that again. But now to our current Mountaineer basketball program. Um, like we were just mentioning, I think I mentioned this earlier. If you guys haven't seen my preseason list here for West Virginia, I'm just looking it up right now. Let's see, trying to find it here. My preseason power rankings. I had Houston obviously at number 1, BYU at number 2, Texas Tech 3rd, Arizona 4th, Iowa State 5th, Kansas 6th, Kansas State 7th, Cincinnati 8th, Baylor 9th, and I had West Virginia at 10th. This is kind of similar to what John Rothstein put because he just did his Big 12 preseason power rankings this past Monday,
Yeah.
and he had West Virginia at number 12, which is understandable. I can see that. But I did put West Virginia at 10th. That's because I have a feeling they'll finish 10th,
Hmm.
not just because of preseason, but it just depends if West Virginia can get to that level.
Yeah.
I know they can, but just the
It's
question is, can they get
and
there? Can they get
yeah.
there?
Well, the big thing last year was, when DeVries was here, it was the same situation: new players, new coaching staff, and no one thought we'd do well. But look at all the big games we won. We beat Gonzaga on a neutral court, Arizona on a neutral court. We won at Kansas, who was what were they ranked at the time? Do you remember?
I want to say Kansas was ranked 7th in the country during that time.
So yeah, we go into arguably the hardest place to play in college basketball, and we win. So, I mean, I'm not saying the same things are going to happen, but I could see it happening because I just think that this team is capable of doing the exact same thing, and I think that Coach Hodge stabled the right team and put together the right team that can do it.
Yeah, I understand, and I agree. I mean, I mean, we have a lot of guys that can play. I mean, we may not have any guys that have played like at the Power Five level, like too many guys that play the Power Five level, but
Yeah,
they have guys that can like compete. I think they can compete at that level, and
yeah,
they Trace Eaglestaff, for example, he played against Alabama and he scored like 40 plus points against them. We
hmm,
had Honor Huff who was playing on a you know, and this is kind of like what Ross Hodge explained here is that he brought in guys from winning programs. Honor Huff
yeah,
played for the NIT champions and Chattanooga. He was one of the best 3-point shooters in the country. Just saw a few practice clips of him, and like he was already going crazy in practice, just shooting like
oh
hop step threes, and that's
yeah,
just like, oh right, all right. I mean, it looks like we might be getting a little bit of a um, Javon Small replacement in Honor Huff, and that's the thing. Like, we're really gonna need um, West Virginia is gonna need some primary scorers. Last year,
yeah.
it was Javon Small and Tucker DeVries, and Tucker obviously was out after the first how many games? He only played like 9
He
games.
played. Yeah, it sounds right. 9 games, I
Yeah,
believe.
there's 7 or
That was
9
probably like it
games.
was like mid-December, and he was done.
Yeah, during
Yeah,
mid-December, he was already done. So Javon Small was the main guy doing all the scoring, and no one else. So, well, we had a couple other guys that can score it, but they weren't the primary scorers. I know. Trying to remember. Other than Javon Small,
Jonathan Powell.
Jonathan Powell was the other guy who's at North Carolina.
Yeah,
Um,
Hansberry, Amani.
Amani Hansberry was supposed to be our second primary scorer once the Vries got hurt. Um, so
I think the biggest thing about this team that I want to see different from last year is I feel like last year's team never got bad, but I think as the season got like as we got into conference play and further into the season that they uh not they didn't get worse, but they digressed a little bit, and I hope this team can stay consistent. If they start winning games, I hope they keep winning games. But I mean, it's college basketball and college sports in general. Consistency is so hard. So
absolutely,
I just hope this team can stay somewhat consistent. But at the same time, I'm not expecting anything crazy because I know it's a transition year again.
It is a transition, but like I was saying, but it's in the world of college basketball we live in today. It's everyone's kind of like going through changes, you know.
Oh yeah,
I
every year.
mean, it's every year now because of the NIL and now with the new rev sharing and everything. It's a totally different. And this isn't
Crazy
college
world.
athletics like it used to be. You know, this is a
Yeah,
whole different ball game now. So
yeah,
everyone's going through this process. So you never know what can happen. But yeah, I mean, like we have guys that like I mentioned, Honor Huff came from Chattanooga, Jackson Fields came from Troy that made it to the NCAA tournament. Big Harlan made it to the NCAA tournament last year with UNC Wilmington. Morris made it to the NCAA tournament, the 3-point shooter from South Carolina a few years ago. So, I mean, Hodge definitely has guys that can win. But
for sure.
can they win at that level? Absolutely, I believe they can. It's just can. It's like
Just
will.
being
It's
there,
it's
will
a
they?
it's a
Yeah,
willing to be there. You know what I'm
be
saying?
there. Yeah, and also Brendan Lorient. I hope I said that right. But
Yeah, Brennan Lorient.
yeah, he was at FAU, I
Yep,
believe.
under
There right
Dusty
now.
May.
Yeah, so there's even more experience right there. The team's full of it.
Yep, absolutely. And I think I'm missing another Jasper Floyd. Obviously, I think people have been saying that he's most likely going to be the point guard, and they'll have Honor Huff playing the shooting guard, playing the two.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I haven't really had like a projected starting lineup, but I'll definitely go more into the WVU basketball team here later in the month of August. I know we're getting into football season, and we'll also talk about Rich Rod here in just a minute here. Um, but yeah, WVU. I think their non-conference schedule. I just saw it here earlier. I know I posted it on social media last week. Rocco Miller is the one that usually keeps track of all the teams that are keeping he's trying to keep track of all the scheduling going on. I know we are hosting Mercyhurst sometime in November, and that's whenever Cameron Johnson, former Jefferson High School alum, I got to see him play in the state tournament back in 2022, I believe, is when Jefferson was like the number 2 seed. Or were they the first seed? I can't really remember. They were either the 1 or the 2 seed because I think they had like an undefeated record
okay.
out of the Eastern Panhandle. So Cameron Johnson will be coming to the WVU Coliseum this November, which is nice. I think we're gonna be hosting Campbell. Um, the current Mountaineer program is going to be playing at the Charleston Coliseum against Wake Forest, a neutral site game. I'm so glad that they
I'm
brought.
excited for that.
Me too. I'm really excited they
Yeah,
brought that back. And then we're playing host to Ohio State. Um, well, it's just I think they've final. I don't think it's like official yet, but from what I saw here, it looks like West Virginia will be playing Ohio State and the but at in Cleveland at the Rocket Mortgage Arena.
I didn't know that. I'm happy. I didn't. That's good.
Yeah, just from what I saw from Rocco Miller here from bracketology.org. He's the one that keeps up with all the team scheduling and stuff, even whenever it's like not like official.
Yeah,
But it looks like that's gonna happen this year, and I'm pretty excited about West Virginia going up against some Power Five not teams in their non-conference schedule. Like Wake Forest is a pretty good, decent team from the ACC, and
yeah,
Ohio State's projected to be a top 5 or top 5 at least top 10 team out of the Big Ten, and
mm,
so yeah, it should be fun. It should be a
yeah.
fun year.
Good competition.
Better competition, and
Yeah,
but I'm kind of hoping. I mean, I do hope that West Virginia gets up to, number 10 or number 9. That's kind of like what I'm shooting for realistically. Um, but I do believe that Ross Hodge can do it and his team can do it.
yeah.
We
I
have
think
the
if they could,
pieces to compete.
yeah, I think if they can crack that top 10, top 11, that's good enough for year one. That's better than anything. I just think as long as they don't finish last, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think I mean, even with the teams that are like predicted to finish last, I mean, those teams are obviously going to be pretty solid as well.
Yeah, it's a tough
I,
conference.
it is a tough conference,
Yeah,
absolutely.
someone's got to finish first and someone's got to finish last. And just because someone finishes last doesn't mean they're a bad team. It's just they might not be quite as good as who finished first.
Right. And I know, like, for our conference scheduling, we don't have an official conference schedule ready yet, but I do know. I don't think we're playing. We're playing at Houston this year. I think we play host to Kansas and BYU
Yeah,
and Baylor,
we go to
and
Arizona.
we're going to Arizona this year. I think we are
We go to Iowa
playing.
State.
Yeah, we're playing at Iowa State.
Yeah,
Um, just trying to remember the rest. I know we're playing a home and away against Cincinnati this year.
I think
Um,
we have Texas Tech home and away again, or not again, but
I think we do. Yeah, because I think we only played at Texas Tech last year.
yeah, that sounds right. So
So
I think
this
we
year we're
play them
playing
both.
Texas Tech because obviously Texas Tech will be a fun matchup, and obviously Ross Hodge is familiar with Grant McCaslin since he was, he was his assistant at North Texas
Yeah,
before McCaslin took over for the Red Raiders. so, but I have a feeling that Ross Hodge can compete with those teams. I have a feeling that I said this last year with Darren DeVries. I have a feeling that like last year we beat Kansas on their home floor. Now it's time that we beat Houston on their home floor. I have a
yeah,
feeling that that might happen. I'm predicting it
could be,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, I think that'd be the big upset of the year, like last year against Kansas. I could see it happening. I don't think anything's impossible. I think we can win anywhere and we can beat anybody.
Yeah, and but the only thing is though, the reason why I think it's a little more difficult is because Houston brings back mostly all their players from last year.
Yeah,
They bring Milo Suzanne back. They got Emmanuel Sharp back. JoJo Tugler. Also add some top freshmen and Chris Senack and Kingston Fleming. So
yeah,
that Houston team is going to be nice. They were going to have Pop Isaacs on their team, but once Milo Suzanne announced that he was coming back to Houston, he ended up transferring to Texas A&M. I think he I can see like I saw that I kind of saw that happening because I think he wanted to be that point. He wanted that point guard spot. So
yeah.
great for him either way. So, but that's what I'm predicting. I don't really know too much about the scheduling yet in terms of the conference play. Other than we are going to be hosting like Houston. I mean, we're playing at Houston next season. And I have a feeling that that is our potential upset team because we beat Kansas last year at Allen Fieldhouse, and I have a feeling that this upcoming year,
It could be
West Virginia
Houston.
will beat Houston, which will be
Yeah,
huge on WVU's resume if they do. So, if Ross Hodge wants to make an early statement,
that's it.
that's it right there is beating Houston. I mean, that's a little bit of a tall task, but I have a feeling that
That's
he can do it.
Yep. That's the standard.
And he was even talking about that in his openly press conference. Like he was talking
Yeah,
about Houston being like one of the best defensive teams in the country. He wants to be like that.
he wants to be. That's who you look at. Yeah,
Absolutely. So I think WVU is in good hands with Ross Hodge. I don't think I really. Amir Jenkins was another kid I forgot to mention that I saw at Rock Hill. I remember I even mentioned this to Coach Hodge. I mean, I feel like he's college ready. I mean, I feel like I think he's ready because I think he originally was in the class of 25, then he reclassed to 26,
and
and
then he
then he
came.
reclassed back to
Yeah,
25 because he was already doing pretty well at the high school level, and then obviously playing for the BABC AAU program. I mean, he played extremely well there. I mean, that team went undefeated for like most of the AAU season. I mean, he already had like a tons of talent around him. Um,
yeah,
Alex, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's getting looked at by like high P5 off like high level Power 5 teams, and um, uh, I forget what their other names are, um, but other than that, I mean, Amir Jenkins, I think he's college ready, and I think he'll definitely be in that heavy rotation for the upcoming year.
Oh yeah, I think that's the main reason he's coming is to be. He's going to be a main part of the team, and you'll see him on the court a lot.
Absolutely. So that's kind of like how I see with WVU basketball this year, and I'll go more into detail of it here in the next couple episodes here, whenever we do our Big 12 preseason breakdown of all the other teams. But now I want to get into in-state prospects. I just got back from Morgantown just recently, talking about the watching the Blue Chips Nation Hoop Summit. A lot of Division threes and JUCOs and a couple of Division two schools were there to see some of the top underrated team players in West Virginia and some other players from the border states from the Ohio Valley in Ohio, and getting to see some dudes from uh, Pennsylvania as well. We had a couple of kids come. I think we had a kid coming from Albert Gallatin and Pennsylvania and some in Uniontown. So it was a good event. I know there was a couple of in-state prospects that really shined. Dominic Sprouse is one of them from GW, and Caden Welch as well. George Washington's going to be in good hands this year with those guys, and just to talk about that, Noah Lewis, if you guys haven't heard, he also committed to Wright State University the past few days ago. I think it's a good fit for him. Wright State has been adding a few more. Wright State has had a few guys that play at the high major level. I think just one is now playing for Ohio State, who just played at Wright State this past year. But yeah, Noah Lewis was getting looked at by some mid-major. He really exploded at that Midwest Live period event. So I have a feeling that Noah Lewis will do pretty well for Wright State. We'll just got to see what the senior year. Just got to see what happens there in his senior year, and I think he's going to do pretty good there. And GW is obviously in good hands with Dominic Sprouse back and Caden Welch and Kirk Akers. Getting to see those guys play today. Kirk Akers is a pretty long, 6'7", 6'8" kid. Caden Welch, pretty athletic, 6'4", can drive to the basket. Dominic Sprouse can shoot it at a high level. Obviously, played in a state championship game as a freshman against Spring Mills. So this team is going to be pretty good. They're going to be pretty good.
I think they're going to be. I'm going to call my early shot. I think they're going to win Quad A next year.
Really?
That's my. That's
what you're predicting there.
Like you said, they're bringing back Noah and the Sprouse kid, and I think they're going to be the team to beat in the state, and I think they're going to win it all. I mean, they were really close this year. They gave Spring Mills a fight, and I think next year will be their year.
I mean, obviously I can see that. Now they were kind of like, well, here's the thing. When GW had all those transfers come in the year prior, with Chance Hartwell coming in from St. Albans, you had Christian Goebel from South Charleston. Yeah, Brady Anderson from Ripley. And then you had Dawson Lunsford, who was a really good shooter.
Yeah.
And you had Noah Lewis, who was only a freshman during that time.
Mm-hmm. Ben
that
Nickel
team,
too,
was Ben Nickel played during that time?
That
was a few years ago.
Did you say when Noah Lewis was a freshman? Or because I think.
Oh yeah, Ben Nickel did play, didn't he?
That would have been his senior year, I believe. So yeah, that's a pretty good team right there.
Just trying to remember, but yeah, I mean,
I might be wrong, so don't get into it. But I think that might be right, but I don't know.
I'm about to say, I think Ben Nickel was already a freshman in Ohio.
He may have been
a couple years ago. Yeah, okay. So I don't think Ben Nickel wasn't a part of that team.
Okay, we'll have to fact check that after this.
Right. But whenever those transfers came in, we all thought that was the team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's because Morgantown was obviously the team to beat, but GW was also another big team to beat because they had all those transfers come in, and then Spring Mills was kind of like the unknown at the time.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
But I mean, I knew about it, but I meant other people,
people
that don't really know about Spring Mills didn't know about them, because I remember a couple years ago I watched Spring Mills during the old West Virginia prep showcases. And they had all those kids come in, like Lokai Smith, Caleb Thomas, and all them. I was like, okay, these kids are young and they're like really hungry, and I was like, okay, these kids they might have a chance to make it to the state tournament,
Yeah,
and actually like put on a show. Um, but with GW on the other hand, they had a lot of guys. They had those guys come in, and they didn't even make it to the tournament. This team, whenever I didn't really have like this team last year, my expectations on them was like, okay, well, this team, well, they have a couple of good guys. Obviously, Noah Lewis, I already know about him, but
yeah,
the rest of the guys, I was just kind of like unsure of. I was just like, well, this team's pretty young. I was just like, well, what's gonna happen? I was kind of worried that GW wasn't gonna make it to the tournament again either. But then I saw them play um at the Utsnack shootout, the Snyder Berlin Utsnack shootout at West Virginia State,
yeah.
and they just uh
They
just
really
trying to
showed
remember who
out.
they really showed out. They did,
Yeah,
and that's just credit to Coach Green, his team, because GW plays extremely well. I mean, Coach Green is one of the best coaches in the state. There's no question about it. Um, But yeah, I mean, just that team that's upsetting Morgantown, 3-time defending state champions in Quad A, knocking them off in the final minutes, and then you know playing Spring Mills, who was kind of like a unanimous favorite to win it all,
yeah.
um, and just like playing them all the way down to the wire was just amazing to see. So
Great game.
um, it was just a great Quad A title game last year, and I think you're right. GW is going to be the team to beat this year. I mean, they have most of their players coming back. Noah Lewis is back for his senior year, and he's hungry for that state championship.
Yeah,
Chuck Kelly is back, who I think he's more of a baseball player, as Noah mentioned earlier. And then you got Dominic Sprouse and Caden Wells and all these young guys who are willing to come in and prove themselves. So GW's in a good spot to be back in the final day of Charleston again next year. So I think you hit the nail on the head on that one.
yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to figure out other teams from the Blue Chips uh, thing, because that went pretty well. That was a really good event. Scott Stroud does an amazing job at that event. I don't really have like an updated list, which I'll definitely go talk about it here later in the coming days. But it was a fun time. Got to see Luke Byer from the university. I know he played pretty solid. He's a 6'4" wing.
Yeah,
I think he's a underrated player that no one really knows about that much, but I think he'll make a lot of noise for UHS heading into next year. Because I know the fall practices at Anderson Court are going to be jumping this year. I'm really excited to see how that's going to turn out, and I'll get more information on that whenever the fall leagues start and everything. So, but it's just nice to
that
see
should be
these guys play
starting
in the
next month.
summer. What was it?
I said the fall league at Anderson should be starting like this time next month, probably, because it goes to like the middle of October. So
Yeah, oh, no doubt. I'm really excited to see how that's going to turn out.
yeah,
Um, Another in-state prospect I want to talk about, Eli Sankum. He's getting looked at from a lot of other schools, just like Noah Lewis, as he committed to Wright State. Um, I just brought it up here. Eli Sankum, according to 24/7 Sports, he is considered a 4-star prospect in the 2026 class. He is going to be taking official visits to Belmont on August 22nd, and he's going to be heading over to Liberty on August 30th, and he's going to be heading over to Loyola Chicago on September 6th. And according to Brandon Jenkins of 24/7 Sports, Sankum says he is additionally planning to visit St. Louis as well. So I think all three of those schools have a good chance to get him on their team. Eli is a very solid prospect. In my opinion, he's the best player in the state other than Noah Lewis. Those are kind of like the top two as of right now. Eli is a pretty solid player. He's a really great facilitator. He likes to finish at the rim. He can really shoot it well from the outside, even though that's not really like his strength. But
he can
I
still
think it
do
is.
it.
They can still do it though. Like he just
Yeah,
plays great all around basketball. I mean, 3 points shooting. I mean, that's just the start of it. I mean, he can shoot pretty well, but he just has a great basketball mindset. He has a great basketball IQ. Obviously, his dad is the head coach at California University of Pennsylvania, so
great coach.
um, great coach, absolutely. And he has a lot of knowledge about the game, and I know he's had a lot of help with his game, especially his younger brother Luke Sankum. That's always pushing him. That's what he said. Always pushing him to be the best he can be. And um, but yeah, I mean, all three of those schools be lucky to have Eli, really solid ball player. I think he's a high major guy too, because I know there's some high major teams that are looking at him. But if he ends up, and that's the thing with these kids, like if Eli, I can see Eli committing to a mid-major school early,
Yeah,
and just to see if he excels there as a freshman or sophomore, like after the next year or so after college,
he can move up.
he can move up to a higher level, like play at a Power Five. I can definitely see that
I can
happening
see
in the
that.
future if he ends up,
Yeah,
committing to a mid major here soon.
for sure.
But it just depends on which one. If I had to say a favorite to land him right now, I would say Loyola Chicago is probably the best place to land him because rich basketball history that they have that they had in recent memory, making that like we were just mentioning earlier in this podcast, they had a big run in the NCAA tournament back in 2016,
Yeah.
and Sister Jean still alive and well. Like I think I just checked her age. She's like 105 years old and still doing it, man. I mean,
Still kicking it.
which is really awesome to see.
Yeah,
And this is an amazing culture over there. And we also have an in-state native that's an assistant coach. So there's a little bit of a West Virginia
full
connection
connection.
with Loyola Chicago with my boy Keith Clemens. Uh, that's kind of like the
There's a
potential favorite to land. That's the Ollie Reed Sports crystal ball for Eli as of right now. He's going to Loyola.
there's a West Virginia connection everywhere.
Absolutely. Always
Remember,
a West Virginia connection everywhere.
when I was out of town, we saw like a whole family there from West Virginia, and I wore. Then the next day, I wore a WVU shirt, and I was just walking around town, and someone stopped me and was like, "Hey, I'm from Bridgeport." So I mean, it's everywhere.
My goodness, man.
Yeah,
Well, especially in South Carolina. I remember I ran into some dude that was wearing a Mountaineer hat whenever I was in Rock Hill a few years ago. He was just like, "Go Mounties." I was like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
everywhere.
So
Yep.
it's everywhere, man. So
Yeah,
always a West Virginia connection wherever you go. It's just really awesome to see. Even whenever I was in South Carolina this year, I saw a couple of people with some WVU t-shirts on. Was like, okay, well,
once
this is
again,
pretty
here we
awesome.
are.
It's awesome to see that.
Yeah,
It's awesome to see some WVU gear out of the state. So
of course. Yeah,
um um I know this is mainly like a basketball podcast, but this is also a WVU related media type of podcast as well. So I would be remiss if I would not talk about the new Rich Rod era, as they're now heading into fall camp. It is already day 4 of fall camp. Fall camp just started this past week. Um, Rich Rod still doesn't really know about the quarterback. So he told the WVU media on day 1, I believe, is that for QB1, he's gonna like announce the quarterback literally the day of the game, like as soon as they start playing. So he's keeping that like under wraps. So but it's
I
kind
think
of it's a
I think I was just gonna say I think there's a lot of people excited to see Rich back, especially the old fans who was around whenever he was here and succeeding, and I'm excited too. I've never been this excited for a football season ever, so I can't wait.
I know, me too. And I'm very excited about it, seeing Rich Rod back. It is very nostalgic to some people. I think that's the reason why most people are excited, is because the nostalgic feeling of, of the old Big East, of whenever we won all those whenever we won all those games in the Big 12. I mean, not Big 12, excuse me. The Big East against, old like Cincinnati and South Florida. And it's just awesome to see that. And obviously you mentioned like the Fiesta Bowl wins, and then talking about what other games that we played? Obviously the Sugar Bowl. So that was very interesting to see. So
Can you hear me, Ollie?
yeah, I was say I think I
Okay,
kind of lost you
I
there.
glitched out there for a second. Okay.
No, it's all right. But like I was mentioning before, like the old school Big East days, never we won the Sugar Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl, and back when WVU was like nationally relevant in football.
Yeah.
And back when we were winning like 9 to 10 plus games. So I not that I'm expecting that in year one. Realistically, I think WVU football with the roster that we have, I mean, we have some pretty good players.
Yeah.
Um, like defensive wise, I think we're gonna be really good. Offensive wise, it's kind of a question mark because we don't know who's going to be our quarterback. But I do know that Rich Rod mentioned that if he has all three quarterbacks that can play, he's going to play all of them. So
Oh, yeah.
I can
Yep.
definitely see that. I mean, we've seen it before. So, um, but yeah, I would say it's based off nostalgic feeling is the reason why people are really excited about it. I mean, and myself included, I was
Yeah.
excited about it first as well because I do remember growing up during those days back whenever I was mainly a football guy and whenever Rich Rod, you know, had Pat White, Steve Slayton, Noel Devine, and all those other guys, Owen Schmidt. I mean, he's just had a lot of former legends on that
Legends.
team, and
Yeah. Those
you
all those
know,
guys are some of the best Mountaineers of all time.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I feel like fans are kind of expecting that. So I feel like there's a little bit of pressure for Rich Rod, but I don't really think that he's like
He's
too
he's not.
intimidated by it.
No, and I don't think the pressure is like so hot to where. I mean, maybe he does have to win 8 games to satisfy everybody, but I don't think it's that.
Right.
So I think if we can go to a bowl game, that's really good.
Absolutely. In year one, that's kind of what I'm predicting. I'm hoping that we can get at least
6 wins.
realistically six wins exactly. I mean, 6 wins or 7 would be great
Yeah.
for year one. That's kind of like what we're hoping for realistically. 9 games would be amazing. 10 games
Yeah.
would most definitely exceed expectations.
Yeah.
But realistically, 6 or 7 games that would be a set. That would be pretty solid for a year one coach, especially for Rich Rod, who's coming back and is a seasoned veteran,
Yeah.
and and knows he knows West Virginia football because he is West Virginia football. That man grew up in West Virginia in Granttown, West Virginia. They have, I mean, basically Granttown, home of Rich Rod. They had the city basically named after him.
Yeah.
So
And Grant Town is just Grant Town. There's nothing. It's a small town. It's the average West Virginia place, and he's someone else that understands the culture, and he's been here before, so he knows what it takes to be here and to win.
absolutely. A QB1 though. If we're gonna have to go with QB1 guesses, I think it's gonna be Nico Marchiol. A lot of people think it's gonna be, and I think the reason why, I think I've mentioned this before, the reason why Nico Marchiol decided to stay is because I think he did have some kind of relation with Rich Rod prior to WVU because,
Arizona.
if you don't know that, yeah, Arizona, because Rich Rod coached at Arizona and Nico Marchiol is an Arizona native.
Yeah.
So there's a connection there. And Nico Marchiol is more of a dual threat quarterback. He can run and he's more of a running quarterback than he is a throwing quarterback. And I think that helps Rich Rod extremely well because that's his style of football. Because obviously this isn't good. I'm just gonna tell everyone this isn't gonna be air raid type of football anymore. This is gonna be like, I mean, we're gonna see a little bit of some passes, but I feel like we're gonna be running the ball an awful lot. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
already see how big Jaheim White is. I
Yeah.
mean, he's
Got
not
huge.
that big for a
He got
reason.
fucked up during the off season. There's a
They're
reason
gonna
for that.
they're because he's gonna be using him a lot. He's
Yes.
gonna be using him a lot this year. So I mean, that's a reason why he's getting so jacked up for this season because they're gonna be using him an awful lot this year.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, if our O line can protect the quarterback, protect Nico and protect Jaheim White, I think our offense will stay pretty solid. We also have a pretty solid wide receiver. I think we have a pretty solid wide receiver group as well. So, just trying to remember. Does Jaden Bray still plays, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Jaden Bray's back. We got Cyrus Straw from Parkersburg South.
Preston Fox
Parkersburg
is back.
South alumni. Preston Fox is back from retirement. Morgantown High School native. So
Should be fun to watch.
it'll definitely be fun to watch for sure. And defensive wise, we got Fred Perry, who's kind of like our second best overall player on the team. Is what NCAA football says on their video game rating, because I think they have him listed as an 89 overall.
Yeah.
But that's because he's a really hard hitter, and
Mhm.
played under Rich Rod Jack State. We have Reed Carrico coming back at the linebacker spot. Although linebacker is going to be a tough place, because I think he has some competition, but Reed Carrico, I have a feeling he'll keep that starting role at linebacker. He's played football at Ironton High School, which is like right next to Huntington, West Virginia. So he was kind of in that West Virginia border.
Yeah.
And he's had some experience, helping out for Ohio State as well. So, yeah, defensive wise, I think we'll be solid. Offense, I think will be solid. If we can win at least 6 or 7 games, I think that will satisfy most majority of the WVU fans. But obviously, the expectations of winning 9 to 10 games every season, I don't think that's going to happen. Even though we want it to happen, I don't think it's going to.
Just
But
gotta be realistic.
But it just got to be realistic. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I'm predicting either 6 or 7 wins this year, and then hopefully by the year after, next year, we'll get to that 10-win level. But for the conference scheduling, obviously we have Robert Morris at home. We play at Ohio, and Ohio is like one of the best mid-major football programs in the country.
Mhm.
And then you got Pitt at home, which obviously that game is a must-win. I mean, I'm just speaking.
You don't even gotta say anything about that. Everyone should know.
Everyone should already know for WVU
Yeah.
fans. I know it's a must-win, because I think what happened last year when we played Pitt, we had that lead and we lost it. I feel like that's what kind of broke our season. I feel like it kind of broke Neil Brown at that point.
Yeah. I think by then everyone was already upset enough after the Penn State hype, and then we got let
Both
down.
teams played horrible that game at Penn State. I'm just going to be real. Penn State didn't play. Penn State played sloppy. WVU played sloppy.
Yeah.
I just think both teams just didn't perform very well that game, and we had that rain delay that lasted about like an hour and a half, and that kind of put a damper on things. So,
Yeah.
and then the Pittsburgh game, obviously the Pittsburgh debacle, that was, that was pretty bad too. So, yeah, it wasn't really that great, but I do believe that West Virginia has a chance to, beat Pitt again. I mean, especially now we got home field advantage. A lot of WVU fans want this to happen. They want to win. A perfect 3-0 slate in the non-con will definitely help us going into conference play, and we'll just see what happens from there. I think Jagger blitzed out again. But we've been going on for about like 49 some minutes now, but I think this is a perfect time to end it anyway. So I just want to thank you all so much for coming out tonight. It's great being back on the podcast again. Oh, he's back.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I think we were just wrapping up anyway. Like I was saying before, after the Penn State debacle and the Pitt debacle, I think it kind of hurt our season, but I think we have a pretty good chance to be 3-0 in the non-con, and if we go a perfect 3-0 in the non-conference, I think that'll definitely boost our confidence heading into conference play, heading into next year.
Yeah.
I mean, heading into this football season.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be a fun year, and I think everyone's excited, and I think you should be. There's a good reason to be excited. New era, new players, new everything, and I'm excited too, and I know you are.
Absolutely, man. But yep, we'll be getting the more details on that. We'll keep you guys updated on all the Big 12 preseason rankings on the basketball teams and such, and also keep you guys in tap with WVU football as well. In-state wise for recruiting and everything, make sure you guys go follow the Twitter at Ollie Reed Sport, x.com/Ollie Reed Sports on all social media platforms. Ollie Reed Sports. Make sure you guys go follow Jagger Matheny as well on Twitter. But that's going to do it here for us. Thank you guys for tuning in on this Saturday night. we wish you guys a happy good night, and we'll just catch you on the next one.